Students, in paper 205, you have to study about bacteriophages. In that, the productive cycles of lambdaphage and 5x174, and how lysogeny is established by P1, P2, P22, and mu-phages, and about RNA phages. So this lecture is about bacteriophage, that is a important and very extensively studied bacteriophage, that is lambdaphage. It is also called as Enterobacteriaceae phage or Escherichia virus lambda. It's a bacterial virus. Bacteriophage means whichever virus which infects the bacteria. Here this bacteria infects the Escherichia coli, or popularly called as E. coli. It was first discovered by Lederberg in 1950. Like they were studying about temperate phages. Now what is a temperate phage? Temperate phage is something which can incubate itself without lysing the cell, that is the lysogenic cycle, and also it can have a lytic cycle. They were studying some bacterial culture where the bacteria was observed, growth was observed as a turbidity. That is because there were mutant phages which were mutant in place of lytic, that is breaking open the cells. And because of that, if you have any phage where there is mutation, that is a major part, either in lysis, or either is some important replicative pathways, if they are mutated by deletion or insertion into the prophage, then you call such phages are cryptic phages. Now, when a bacteriophage infects a bacterial cell, it can either lyse the cell or incubate itself into the genome. So, when it is incubating inside the genome of a organism, that is E. coli, it is called as the prophage. So, the structure of the phage, if you take, it consists of a head, and then you have the tail, and you have the spikes or the tail fibers. The head is the capsid, that is decorated by D protein, and then you have the major capsid E protein also. Inside that head is the nucleic acid, that is the double stranded DNA of the phage being located. And then the DNA is also very interesting, because as we go on, you'll see how the phage DNA is there. Then you have the tail attachment proteins, and the tail attachment protein, there is also one enzyme protease which is there inside, attached to that tail attaching region and the DNA. You have the long tail fibers, and you have the spikes or the side tail fibers, which are also called as STF. And main proteins are the tail tip protein, that is JKLM, L and M. So this is very important. The tip proteins are very important, because through that only the DNA will be injected into the cell. So this is a non-contractile tail phage. So the injection will involve this JKL protein. So these are the number of copies of this proteins which are present, and that is D protein is present 405 copies, E protein also 405 copies, 1 copy of DNA. C is a protease, 10 copies of protease is present, which will open the path for the DNA to be injected. And then V tail proteins are 192, and J proteins are 3, H6. L and M is also present. In this picture it is not given how many numbers. So this is the overall structure, which contains the capsid head, which has the nucleic acid, and the tail, which is straight attaching, coming out of the head, which helps the phage to bind onto the bacteria, that is E. coli. So the lambda phage can have two cycle, that a lytic cycle and lysogenic cycle. In lytic cycle, what happens? The DNA is injected. First, there is attachment, then there is entry. After entry, there is synthesis of the components, replication of the DNA, also transcription and synthesis of the protein components, and assembly, the protein codes are assembled, and there is packaging of the DNA, and there is lysis. In lysogenic phase, there is no lysis, but the DNA, the prophage DNA is integrated into the host genome, and then that is propagated as the cell multiplies. This prophage also multiplies, and then there will be a trigger, that is the, well, I'll tell you in the last slide what is the trigger, and that will lead to a lytic cycle which will release around 50 to 100 phages per cell. So how is the entry? As I told, lambda is a non-contractile tail phage, meaning during an infection event, it cannot force its DNA through the bacterial cell membrane. So instead of that, it must use an existing pathway to invade the host cell. The tip fibers are evolved, that is the J protein which is evolved, that allows the entry. There are two attachment. One is the spike proteins that attach the cell, that is the loose attachment. Then there is an establishment of the proper attachment by the J protein. And this binding of the J protein at the tip tail that interacts with the maltose outer membrane porine protein of E. coli, which is a part of maltose operon. This is very important. Okay, the binding of the J protein happens to the maltose operon. Okay, so once this is bound, the linear phage genome is injected through the outer membrane. Now after injection, it passes through the mannose permease complex in the inner membrane, and then it enters the cytoplasm. So this is the genome. So once it enters the cytoplasm, the important is the ends of the genome, that is 5 prime and the 5 prime overhangs, which are like in the staggered form. So that is ligated by the host ligase to form a circular prophage inside the host. The 12 base GC rich cohesive end, they are sticky ends that are ligated by the host DNA ligase. Host DNA gyrase also puts a circular like a supercoil, that is negative supercoil, in the circular chromosome, causing AT rich region to unwind and drive the transcription. So this is the genome. The genome is 48,490 base pairs, double stranded DNA. Here what is depicted is the linear DNA with 12 base overhang, that is what is circularized by the host ligase. So as soon as this host DNA circularizes and forms a prophage, there is important regulatory regions which are like functioning, which will decide whether the phage replication goes through towards the lytic cycle or the lysogenic cycle. Important here, see between 336 and the 40 numbers. So like these are the kilo base pairs, like 0 to 1 kb or 1 to 2 kb, like that you have to just see between the 35 and 40. So you can see there are many promoters clustered here. PL stands for promoter left. So if there is any transcription at the promoter L region, it proceeds towards the left. PR proceeds towards the right, and then there are important proteins C1, C2 and C3. They are very important. C1 or the CI protein, CRO protein, the CRO protein, and C2 protein. If C2 protein is more, the regulation goes towards the lysogeny. If CRO is more, it goes to the lytic cycle. So C1 becomes more when there is CI production. So critical protein is CI protein or the C1 protein. So there is origin of replication also here only. The important proteins are O, P, B, Q, G, all that are in the DNA replication, and they come in the lytic cycle. So a detail of what are this each gene coding is in the last slides. So the phage can go towards the lytic cycle or lysogenic cycle. In lytic cycle, the genome is replicated to many copies, progeny assembles into prophage particles and get released. That means the host is destroyed, lysed. In the lysogenic cycle, the phage genome is not replicated. The genome is integrated into the host genome. There is no progeny produced. The host cell is not destroyed. Now, replication of the phage genome is achieved whenever there is a bacterial replication. A trigger can start the lytic cycle. So, there are two genes that serves as a molecular switch between this lytic and lysogeny. The lambda repressor and repressor proteins. They are both are repressor proteins. The CI protein and the CRO protein. The CI proteins, if more is produced, it activates the lysogenic pathway. If the CRO protein is produced more, it activates the lytic pathway. They are a beautiful helix turn helix protein, and they bind specific regions on the DNA of the lambda genome, and they cause this switch between two cycles. So the important region, what I told you to concentrate between 36 and 40, there are three promoter, PR, PL and PCI. The PCI produce when it is transcribed, it produces an mRNA and a protein called CI, that is the lambda repressor gene. If PL and PR is transcribed, it produces PR produces rightward genes and PL produces leftward genes. In this you can see, if PL is transcribed, that is leftward transcription, then you have this production of excision, XIS, integration, int gene, and at prophage and couple of other genes. That is important for lysogeny, also for packaging. It does not mean that PL is activated only during the lysogeny. No, PL and PR are both activated during lytic cycle also. Then if right region is activated, you have the DNA replication machinery, that is OP and Q and Q anti-termination protein, RS, they are important in lysis, and AWBCD, all this protein, that is the head and the tail proteins, they are the late genes which are produced. So PL, PR and CI is the PC1 is the important promoters which are regulated as soon as the prophage, the circular prophage is there in the bacterial cell. So how this regulation happens? I already told that if CRO is activated, there is lytic cycle. If C1 is activated, there is lysogenic cycle. So lytic cycle is achieved when both PR and PL promoters are turned on, and CI is turned off, or I'll call it as C1. C1 is turned off. If you have the turning on of this C1 protein, then you have the lysogenic cycle activated. This PL promoter and PR promoter are shut off. Now we'll see how this beautiful interplay happens. Now this between that C1 and PR promoter, there are very important regions, they are called as operator regions. in the region between C1 and CRO genes, that is including promoter for C1 and promoter for right gene transcription, there are important region called as the operator genes, operator regions, operator region R1, R2 and R3. So they are placed very beautifully, they are placed in overlapping manner. If you can see this, the right side, you can see the three regions are overlapping this promoter for C1 and right promoter, right? So on the overlap it looks like this. So there are important binding protein to the operator region R1 and operator region R2 and R3. Now we'll see how the binding happens. So when CRO is expressed, that is the promoter, right promoter is activated and CRO is expressed, CRO binds to the operator region overlapping with the C1 promoter. That is this orange proteins, that is CRO, it binds to the promoter of the C1. So CRO protein prevents the RNA polymerase from binding to the promoter region of the C1 and thus no CI protein is produced. So when there is no CI protein, there is no lysogeny. So when CRO is expressed, results into lytic pathway, that is the promoter, right promoter and left promoter are empty for the RNA polymerase to bind there and produce the lytic machinery. So if CI protein is produced, if the transcription of CI protein happens first, more and more of CI protein is produced, CI protein binds to the operator regions overlapping with CRO and other genes of the promoter R. CI protein is a helix-turn helix protein that prevents the RNA polymerase from binding to the right promoter and thus no CRO or the lytic genes are produced. So this CI protein induces the lysogenic gene expression, that is promoter left, the lysogenic gene expression starts. And also it's interesting that CI protein, lysogenic pathway is started. When CI is expressed as CI protein is produced, there are two operator regions R1 and R2. There is cooperatively binding starts. That means there is more and more of this CI proteins are produced and they bind to all the regions of the operator, that is the operator region 1, 2 and 3. No, that means it is blocking its own synthesis, that no more further CI protein is produced. That is, cooperative binding of CI protein can also regulate its own expression by slowly occupying the piece promoter for C1 region. So if this promoter region, the promoter region left, promoter region right and promoter region for C1, is the interplay between these region is what regulates the lysogenic and lytic switch. In lysogenic, there is more and more of C1 protein which is produced that binds to the promoter of the right region, stopping the production of the lytic machinery, that is DNA replication proteins and head and tail proteins, but the left promoter is active, that will produce the integrase enzyme, INT and XIS enzyme, that we'll see further how they integrate the prophage into the bacterial genome. But if the CRO protein is produced, that will bind to the C1 promoter region, there is no block of the promoter of the right region. So the promoter of the right region is ready to produce the DNA replication important machinery, and there is induction of lytic cycle. So here, so as soon as there is production of the CRO protein which blocks the C1 protein, there is transcription happening. The PL promoter will concentrate first. If you can see at the number 36, there is a promoter for the left region. Immediately what is transcribing is this N protein. So when there is transcription initiation, that is the lytic cycle, there are genes of the there are early genes, there are delayed early genes, and the late genes. The early genes are this N gene, that is important is this N gene, and towards the left and towards the right is the OPQ genes, and the late genes are the lysis important gene, and the late genes are the head, tail, and tail tip fibers genes, which are important in the packaging. The early gene important is the very important is the too short mRNA. The one of the mRNA is forming the CRO, and the other mRNA, which is the N and the RAL protein. The RAL protein, which interacts with the host cell methylases to give enhanced modification of all DNA in the cell, thereby improving the chances that incoming lambda DNA will avoid the restriction. There are two short early mRNAs which are produced. One mRNA is the CRO protein. CRO protein binds to the C1 promoter, thereby stopping the lysogeny activation. The other mRNA which produces two protein, that is the RAL protein and N protein. RAL protein interacts with the host cell methylases, thereby making the whatever the lambda DNA is there methylated according to the bacteria. That means the bacterial system does not recognize it as non-self and it is not degraded. Next, the other protein is the very important protein, which is the N protein, which is a critical protein. It is involved in something called as anti-termination. It's a 107 amino acid basic protein, and that recruits the other host factors like the RNA polymerase, NUS-A, NUS-B, NUS-G, and RPS-J genes. Okay, that is Rho factors are also recruited. When there is transcription at the promoter L region, which crosses the NUT site, the mRNA recruits this RNA N protein. That means RNA polymerase forms this RNA, and this RNA has important region, that is box A, box B region. The first region is called as the box A region, which recruits the NUS and NUSG and S10, which is the part of the RNA polymerase, and the second region is called as the box B region, and that is the region which has a stem loop like structure, and that is where is the N protein getting attached to the RNA. So the box region is very important to attachment of this N protein. The N protein binding to this stem nascent RNA will carry out an important process, that is elongation. Now once this RNA polymerase is continuing its synthesis of RNA, once it reaches the terminator region, that is the T region here in the picture, the mRNA synthesis is halt and there is termination. But binding of this N protein creates an anti-termination. That means there is no stalling of this RNA polymerase. It continues producing the further from the terminator region. So early genes are the N genes, RAL genes, and CRO genes. In delayed early genes, which is continuing production of the other genes. So the left part produces the N protein, and the rightward parts, sorry, here, yeah, the leftward part produces the N protein, and also other proteins which are important for excision. If there is any protein prophage which is there inside the bacterial genome, it should be excised out for the lytic pathway. So during this, you can see in this picture, first the N protein, then C3 and XIS, excision important protein, and integrase SIB. So there is a regulation, that means the XIS mRNA is more and more produced. When there is RNA produced by this promoter L region, it produces an important secondary structure, that is stem loop structure, at the SIB region, that is recognized by this RNase enzyme which cleaves the RNA. But parallelly there is protein synthesis also happening, so more and more XIS proteins are produced, and this XIS protein will excise out the the prophage from the host bacterial, and then they are also ready to be replicated, and they produce more and more of other proteins which are required. The leftward transcription expresses the GAM, RED, XIS and INT genes. GAM and RED proteins are involved in recombination. GAM is also important in that it inhibits the host recombinase BCD nuclease for degrading from degrading the 3' ends in rolling cycle replication. INT and XIS are important for integration and excision of the protein. Especially XIS is important, because if XIS are more, then excision happened. If INT and XIS are equal, then there is insertion happened. So once the once there is production of this, the promoter to the right region also is activated in the lytic cycle, that is the rightward transcription is activated, which produces an important genes, that is O, P and Q genes. O and P are responsible for replication, and Q is another anti-termination factor. N is an anti-termination factor, and Q is also an anti-termination factor. The replication happens by rolling theta replication initially. Once this protein O and P are produced, the O gene product, that is O protein, binds to the origin site, and then the P protein binds to DNA B subunit of the host replication machinery, as well as binding to P. That is, the replication is by theta model. In this theta model, the origin of replication is recognized by this O protein. It binds to that origin region, and also there is a P protein which binds to this O protein and the DNA replication machinery, recruiting all the polymerases there, and then you have the theta model of replication starting. Only when there is enough of this protein is made, there is a switch from the theta model to rolling circle model. That means a nick is made at the 3' end, which serves as a primer, and more linear copies of this phage DNA is made by rolling circle model. So rolling circle model again produces a long lengthy stretch of the lambda DNA, which is called as the concatomers. That means many copies are attached, and these copies are attached, and the at regions are very much recognized. There is what the break happening, the staggered end is created, and one copy is packaged into the lambda phage. There is one more protein which is produced from the right promoter, which is called as the Q protein. Q protein also acts as a anti-terminator, which is similar in effect as the N protein. This Q protein binds to RNA polymerase, interacts with the sigma factor, and displaces the sigma factor, and there is transcriptional reinitiation. That means the head and the tail genes are transcribed, and the corresponding protein self assembles. So you can see here, when there is like NUT site, there is QUT sites also, which once they are transcribed, when they are recognized by this Q proteins, and Q proteins comes and binds to that protein, interacting with the sigma 70 subunit 4. And once this interaction happens, the sigma unit is taken off, which helps in the recognition of the termination factor, the whole complex. If the sigma unit is there, the terminator regions are recognized and there is stop. But because of this Q protein, the sigma binds and displays the sigma 70, allowing the transcription to continue. So further, the transcription is not halted and it is continued. So once you have this tail factor, everything produced, there is the whole the late genes are activated. The late genes are also, that is the lysis associated gene. A concise of what happens in lytic cycle. In the lytic life cycle, where the protein or the C1 protein does not reach a high concentration due to degradation, or the promoters are not active, the late early transcripts continue being produced, that is XIS, int, Q, and genes for replication of lambda, that is OP, for lambda genome replication. CRO dominates and the repressor site, and there is Q and P. O and P proteins initiate the Phage chromosome replication. Q is an anti-terminator which produce the head and tail proteins of the lambda phage. The structural proteins and the phage genome assembly happens into the new phage. Once the assembly is completed, there are the other genes SR, RZ, and RZ1, which causes the cell lysis. The S is a holin. It's a small membrane protein that makes holes in the membrane. R is an endolysin, an enzyme that escapes through the S holes and cleaves the cell wall. RZ and R1 are the membrane proteins that form a complex that destroys the outer membrane after endolysin has degraded the cell wall. So for a wild type, lambda lysis can happen within 50 minutes of the infection. Around 100 virions are produced per cell. Now there is one more cycle, that is lysogenic cycle. Lysogenic cycle happens when you have the C1 protein which are produced. So how is this regulation happening? When CI, you remember that when there is in the initial slides I have told that there is CRO protein and the C1 protein which interacts for the lytic and lysogenic switch. When there is a CI protein which is more produced, that binds to the right promoter, the left promoter is still active. The left promoter produces the other important int and XIS protein. There is when you have this the integration happens using these proteins. The integration of the lambda phage takes place at a special attachment site in the bacterial and the phage genome called as the at lambda. The sequence of the bacterial at is called as the at B site, and between the that is present between the gal and the bio-operons, and consist of some region sequence called as B O B dash. Whereas the complementary sequence of the circular phage genome, that is the at P sites, consist of P O P dash. The integration itself is a sequential exchange via a holiday junction structure and requires the phage protein int, that is the integrase, and the bacterial protein IHF, that is integration host factor. Both the int and IHF bind to the at P and forms an intasome, a DNA protein complex designed for site specific recombination of the phage and host DNA. The original BOB sequence is changed by the integration to BOP dash phage DNA BPOB dash, so that the phage DNA is integrated and becomes part of the host genome. When there is more of XI S gene that excises the Phage genome. Till then, the DNA is integrated into the host gene. That is, the right promoter is activated, and there are no lytic machineries which are there, and there is integration of the Phage genome into the host cell. The lysogenic life cycle begins once the CI protein reaches a high concentration to activate its promoter after a small number of infection. The late early transcripts, that is XIS, INT, and Q, and genes for replication of lambda genome are the early transcript. The C2 is stabilized, acts as the C2 acts to promote the transcription of the P right early genes, PI genes, and P antique promoters. P antique promoters produces antisense mRNA to Q genes, that is the anti-terminator genes, thereby no head and tail proteins, switching off the Q production. PRE promoter produces an antisense mRNA for CRO, that is stopping the lytic cycle, and has a transcript for CI gene. This is expressed turning on CI repressor production. The P1 promoter expresses the INT gene, resulting in a high concentration of integrase enzyme. There is no Q present, no structural proteins are produced. Lack of CRO, no lytic cycle, and lack of transcription at the promoter L and R, no production of C2 or C3. As no C2 or C3 concentration decreases, transcripts from antique and PRE, P1 stops being promoted since there is no longer needed. The prophage is integrated into the host cell and duplicated as subsequent cell division. Stress can be from starvation or poisons like antibiotics or other factors that can damage or destroy the host cell. This response to stress is activation of the prophage, which is excised from the DNA of the host cell by one of the newly excised gene products, and causing the induction of the lytic pathway. The classic induction of the lysogen involves irradiation of the infected cell by UV light. Any situation where the lysogen undergoes DNA damage or SOS response of the host cell is otherwise stimulated leads to induction. The host cell containing the dormant phage genome experiences DNA damage due to high stress in the environment, and starts undergoing SOS response. REC-A, which is a cellular protein, detects DNA damage and becomes activated. Now, LEC-A binds to LEX-A, activating the DNA repair protein. But what this phage does is it hijacks the REC-A, stimulating its CI autocleavage, and this is because CI mimics the structure of LEX-A, and autocleavage starts. And when CI is no longer there, the promoters are now like available for the RNA polymerase. More and more of XIS is produced, thereby excising the lambda phage genome from the host genome, and the lytic cycle appears. So this is the molecular mechanisms of what happens in the lysogenic cycle and what happens in the lytic cycle. The important proteins which are produced by the lambda phage are C3 protein, that is very important protein, helps in degradation, protects the C2 protein from degradation by proteases. C2 protein is very important protein. Now this C2 protein has an important function, that is activates the transcription from antique and promoter RE promoter 1, that transcribe the C1 and the INT protein. uh, and then C1 is very important that orchestrate the lytic and lysogenic control. That is, it activates the lysogeny. Crow protein is lysis control for repressor operator. And O protein, O, P, and GAM are important for DNA replication. O is like initiates, it's a replication protein that initiate lambda fast DNA replication by binding to the ORI, that origin site. P protein initiates phage DNA replication by binding to O and DNA B subunit. And GAM inhibits the REC BCD nuclease by degrading 3' ends, allowing rolling circle replication to proceed. S is important in lysis because they are whole in protein which perforates to the membrane and then help in lysis. R is endolysin, which breaks down the cell wall. RZ and RZ1, they are important. They forms membrane protein complex that destroy the cell outer membrane following the cell wall degradation by endolysin. They are like spanning protein. They span the outer membrane and the inner membrane. F protein, F, D, E, C, B, J, they are all important in lysis because they are the head protein, structural protein. And MVU, GLT, they are important for the tail protein. K protein is an endopeptidase, and other protein uh, I, F1, F2, they are all important in lytic cycle. Int protein is important in DNA or the genome integration. It is encodes a integrase enzyme. XIS is excisionase enzyme, and they orchestrate between integration and excision. N is an anti-terminator protein. Q is an anti-terminator protein. So these are all the proteins which are produced by the bacteriophage. So once the bacteriophage recognizes the maltose transporter, it binds to it and injects the DNA. Once the DNA is inside the cell, it is circularized by DNA ligase, and then the transcription orchestration happens at the promoter right or promoter L, or the P1 promoter, which produces the CI protein. If C1 protein is produced, it produces the lysogenic cycle. If Crow protein is produced, it produces the lytic cycle. So bacteriophage infection can shift between lytic and lysogenic.